Hello, beautiful creators and leaders and architects and designers, developers, land stewards of the new earth. It is my utmost delight to be hosting the Sacred Blueprint for Our New Earth interview series for the eighth time. My team and I are thrilled that we've gone strong consistently each season for twice every year. We've been hosting this amazing event, which is gathering the world's leading energetic design experts. I love gathering the world together, and we have many participants joining from different parts of the globe who are interested in building healing sanctuaries with the wisdom of nature. You could be an architect, an interior designer, landscape architect, urban planner, space house healer, geomancer, developer, visionary, land steward. But we all have this thing in common, that is to create healing sanctuaries for our new earth. And all of our guest speakers in this interview series are going to share the tips, tools, their wisdom, expertise on how you can create your homes, communities, gardens, cities, even in partnership with the spirit of the land, in partnership with Mother Gaia, in partnership with the subtle realms, with the energetic realms, which have been hidden for so long, and in partnership with your client souls and your soul. So I'm thrilled to be hosting this beautiful series again. My name is Aisha Rose Melody Hassan, and I am an architect and an alchemical healer. I'm also the founder and creator of the Sacred Blueprint. This is a cutting-edge vessel of courses and programs for women architects and designers, as well as property owners, guiding them on how to birth their dream sanctuaries through a new modality that bridges spirit with architecture. A short story about me: I was working at various firms internationally as an architect, and before COVID, I got some downloads, some transmissions from my spirit guides to start to bridge spirit with form. I used to be suffering from chronic illness. I used to be depleted. I used to be extremely drained. And the old paradigm way of practicing architecture was not serving me. And so I almost quit, actually, before I got this transmission, this download. I almost quit architecture completely. And I almost quit, and I started to study alchemical energy healing. And that took me on this path to connect more deeply with the spirit of the land, connect more deeply with my spirit guides. And then I received a message: no, you've got to bridge spirit with form. And this is how the Sacred Blueprint came to be. And this is how this interview series came to be. And I am now passionately living my purpose and spreading the light of the Sacred Blueprint all across the globe. And we're starting a movement. It's a movement, people, to completely shift the way we build and practice with Mother Earth, to open the way for healing, transformation, awakening that we all so desperately need on this planet. I'm just taking a look at my notes if there's anything that I've missed here. No, we're good. So I want to introduce our next guest, or our first guest, rather. They are a beautiful duo who are the founders of Inphinity Design, and they are creating cutting-edge architecture that bridge all kinds of holistic, energetic healing modalities into their architectural visions. They have an amazing team, and they are working on incredible wellness centers, spas, visions for new earth development and communities. And they're going to share more about how they started their company and the amazing projects that they're working on. So welcome in John Bolel and Jody Louise. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
welcome. It's
Merhaba.
Merhabalar, nasılsınız? Yes.
Practicing quite well in these days.
Yeah, beautiful. John, everyone is Turkish, and John and Jody used to live in the Izmir area where I am based, and we were fortunate. It was great. I was fortunate enough to meet them in person for breakfast one day. It was so great. And now you're in a totally different place. Where are you now?
We're in my homeland currently. We're in Byron Bay in Australia, and we're really, really loving the lands here are so sacred and beautiful, like out of a movie.
Wow. Wow. What a blessing. Yeah. I'm so excited for you you shared behind the scenes a little bit more that you want to explore more of the coastline. Yeah, I'm excited for you to be feeling into the different tastes and qualities of different sites, and tuning in which ones resonate with you and which ones perhaps don't. So yeah. It's great.
Yeah, that's one of our passions also. Like, we have been fortunate to travel the world quite a lot, live in different pockets, experience different cultures, how they live, how they shape this reality in their own ways. So we find quite exciting and very teachful, actually, to just explore the world, live in some different areas. Now we are trying to sink this Australian wisdom in the States, which is going quite deeper right now.
It's quite interesting, actually. I study astrocartography a bit, which is based on our astrology. And John and I both have our Jupiter line running through the east coast of Australia, which is one of the reasons we came. And we find this quite interesting to always look at, for where we want to live, because Jupiter is the place of expansion and also a really great place to settle down, have family. So for us, we were really curious to come here and explore, and we're loving every moment of it so far.
I love it. I love it. And when you mentioned Jupiter, Rudolf Steiner comes to mind. He would call him, and the anthroposophic movement would call the new Earth the new Jupiter. And there's an esoteric meaning to that. And that's a whole other topic, which I'm not an expert in, but yeah. So yeah, Jupiter. Wow. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. So for the listeners and the people who are watching, for those who don't know you, who haven't connected with you, can you share how you started Inphinity Design, and what's the impulse behind this incredible company that you have built? Yeah.
Well, I think, John, it would be good to start this. We're currently on the second wave of Infinity Design. There was kind of a sacred pause there for a couple of years, and it started with a smaller seed and grew into a much bigger seed.
Yeah, basically, it's been a quite deep passion for me to explore sacred geometry from a young age. I was able to see some fluctuations of the geometries around me, and it was always quite exciting to learn more about geometry. And once I met with the sacred proportion, sacred geometry, just turned my whole worldview around 360 degrees. So the beginning of the Infinity Design is actually start to experiment with the geometric formations in the wooden artwork. So I have been practicing to make multidimensional laser cut artwork with sacred geometry and meditating with those pieces, actually creating these multidimensional communication tools to the divine through these codes. So that took 4.5, 5 years. With all of the COVID, the world goes crazy, things change. So I find myself in Bali working with a different development project. And at that time, we met with Jody, and she was doing all of her work at that time, collect all of amazing wisdom around the world. And with that project I was working with, we went to Mexico. And in that sacred lands, maybe you can mention something profound happened in one of the most ancient biological forms in that laguna. Stromalize.
Yeah. I mean, just to rewind a step, when I met Jan, I knew instantly we were here to build New Earth communities together, but I didn't tell him that straight away because I didn't want to freak him out. But I knew it. I knew he was the person. And when he invited me to go to Mexico with him, I had a full life in Bali and I didn't flinch. I said, let's do it. I knew we were meant to go there. And when we got there, everything fell apart, actually. The reason we went there, the project we were on just fell apart, wasn't working. And we were like, all right, what are we here to do?
What are we really doing here?
And some of our friends that we met said, go into the Laguna. There's these ancient stromatolites, 3.8 billion years old. And when you go in there, you receive downloads. And I was like, okay, with nothing to lose. The water's beautiful.
Yeah.
And every time, it wasn't actually when we were in the water, it's as soon as we walked out back onto the land that we'd both just have these downloads come in. And it was so crystal clear, so aligned. We both just said, wow, we're meant to build a project. So it actually began with a vision for a New Earth city. And then when we sat down and got into our masculine brain,
We'll do that.
how can we actually make that happen? And we realized, okay, we need to actually form our own architectural company together. And it happened within a month, we had our first client. So it's just been really, honestly, I've created many projects very entrepreneurial in my life, and nothing has grown so fast and been so easy, effortless ever. So we're really enjoying the journey, and that was 2 years ago. So.
Oh, that's so magical. Easy, effortless. I mean, this is the theme of the new earth, right? What are we doing that is going against the current, right? That's just not in the natural flow of things. And I love that this natural power place, right? This laguna and the magic of the water, most probably there, right? And it's how it coalesces with the land, with the region, with the rocks, with the whole energy of the place. Just that unique, soup of magic, how it helped you to actually take quite, it's maybe overly used these days, but a quantum leap really into creating what you're meant to create on this planet. And of course, the universe is gonna sweep the steps for you, pave the way and make it effortless. Effortless. Yeah.
In some moments in life when this epiphany, this moments happens, every puzzle piece we have been collecting all of our years just comes together as aha moments. We all have those moments.
Yeah.
And it seems it's not just only one time happen. It's just so many different layers as we evolve and grow in this journey. It's just these aha moments come together. And even in this very moment, talking with you, seeing you in Izmir, like there's so much aha moments in our life, and we find the most bliss comes when we follow those moments, when we go through with the flow of impulse from the life itself, and then magic happens naturally.
Yeah,
Totally.
impulses from life itself, following those moments, absolutely. No matter how scary it can be, right, for parts of us to take that leap, but to really be guided and listen to those cues, those signs, those nudges from the universe, from God, from your higher selves, from your hearts. Yeah, I love it.
And just to add to that, as much as it has been beautiful and easeful, it has been really scary at times. And I'd love to bring...
But let's be human. Yeah.
Exactly. There's been a lot of challenges also that we've had to walk into, but it's felt organic. It's felt natural. It's felt like that's what we're meant to be doing. So it's been easy to embrace those challenges. But just for anyone that's thinking about starting, it's not like there hasn't been challenges. And I think it's important to acknowledge that they're a part of. If we get somewhere, sometimes we have to go to those uncomfortable places. We have to face our shadow, and we have to do that work. We have to learn these different relationships, and there's been so many different journeys along the road to get to where we are now too.
Never fall our life with just okay, you just did it. No, you just work through it.
There's work, there's dedication, there's commitment, there's constant revising of the mission, okay, is this aligned with our path forward? And those challenges, I appreciate you bringing them forward because, we have shadows, we have parts of us that still hang on to survival consciousness, or parts of us that want to float up into the air and ascend too quickly, out of rhythm of the really the natural evolutionary path that we are on. And those challenges are absolutely teachers, right? They're teachers for us, and they shape us, they mold us. So yeah.
They are basically here for all of those challenges. So bliss, what we are also reading in this Gene Keys, they're like gifts.
This
They come
book keeps
through
on
the
popping
shadow.
up for me. Yeah.
On our table over there, it's our Bible.
Okay, another guest speaker was talking about that, by the way, who's in this interview series. I'm like, okay, I've got it like the 5th time. Yeah.
It is super profound, actually. We definitely suggest everyone who is seeking the journey of the consciousness through shadow to a gift to a city. There are 3 levels of journeys in there, and all gifts pass through the shadow. Without shadow work, there is no gifts.
Yeah. And when we can see the shadows of that gift, we move from victim into a gifted consciousness. And once we embrace the gift, we can actually really truly ascend in a grounded, embodied way. Otherwise, you ascend and then you fall back down again.
Right. Yeah.
Small jump otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, the keys are phenomenal. Like, really recommend doing your profile. That helps us unlock our purpose and, really what we're here to offer and share in the world. It's quite enlightening.
I love it. I love that resource. Thank you for sharing that. This is Gene Keys. And who's the author? So for those who don't know, what was the name of the... Richard Rudd, right? Yeah, Richard Rudd.
For anyone
All right.
that's
So
like human design, it's kind of based off that and the I Ching. So he studied human design first, so it's all interconnected, and I just love the way he's put it together. Phenomenal.
wow. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I'm going to be ordering that soon too. Great. Yeah, already got 5, 6 signs to get it. So yeah, thanks for sharing that resource. So share with us what's unique about your approach to creating architectural visions. Now, you are not trained architects, but you work with a team of architects. You're designers, you're visionaries. Jody, you are an expert in wellness, right? Also trauma healing as well. Is that correct? And maybe I'm not saying it in the exact way that you would be saying it. And so with this blend, and John, you working on these beautiful panels of sacred geometry, woodwork, and fine craft with these geometries, how did you start to develop your modality, your way of creating these visions for the new earth?
My primary background coming from urban design, so the architectural form and in a larger scale was always basically connected with the whole thing too. What's the difference in that scale is when we connect with the Jodi, it's like there is a forgotten knowledge in the nature, just in front of our eyes. It is not just something new or unique we are trying to develop. We are remembering, we are relearning what nature has been mastering for billions of years. It's making the most amazing, the most efficient and productive geometries, how the energy moves, how the cells move, how the water moves, how the thunders form. There is a geometry in the whole creation. And some call this geometry of consciousness, some call this blueprint of God, some call this just language of nature. It doesn't really matter what you call, but there is a certain geometry and language in creation. It's from our bones to our cellular structure, to our DNA, to our all things around us, from molecular structure to a cosmic interstellar structure. There is this repeating pattern, these fractals are present. So what Infinity doing in that sense is just we are observing and trying to study as much as possible this language and how we can apply this natural form of design geometries into our living structures. And it's not just about the beauty form of it. There is a backed up science out there that, for the ones who doesn't know, there is a profound studies has been conducted during the times, from pyramid studies to different germination studies. When you connect right materials with the right geometries, there is a life enriching energy flow happens from life force energy. We are tapping actually into a fifth element right now. Let's be very clear in that, no? Like, it is a fifth element we are discovering, some called ether, some called energy, prana, mana. It doesn't, again, really matter what it calls. But there is a new element that our science is discovering in these days. And what it just gives to us that it's about the mechanics of how creation forms. When you start to understand how matter forms, attracts, and behave through some different geometries, you start to unlock some magical properties. It can become healing environment. It can become an environment that pathogenic viruses die way more faster. Water crystals shape way more harmoniously. There's so much science behind it. We can talk quite a lot. I don't want to bother anyone right now so deeply, but this is our passion in Infinity design. We want to restudy the ancient temples, ancient wisdom through nature, and how we can remember back and apply that into our modern architecture to create resonance architecture, to create healing architecture in all of our daily experiences, from homes that we sleep, then homes to living technologies that heals us. So I don't want to talk way more.
Beautiful, John. It's beautiful. I mean, just you brought so much beauty and wisdom, and also the energy of the masculine to this answer, right? This beautiful description of the power of architecture that is in complete union with this life force, this chi, this new element, and how there's a blueprint of creation that exists from, the bones of our hands to, our entire body system, to the rivers, the lakes, and the entire earth. And just so beautifully said. So Jody, then, with this structure, right, of this beautiful, how John has beautifully laid this beautiful structure of what is possible with creating architecture that is in tune with nature's wisdom. What are the results for people? What are the results and the benefits? Like, why we could just continue going into the science of it, and we could also continue playing with forms as architects, like, oh, we could do this form and we could do that one and this. But when it comes down to it, we're really creating architecture for people, right? What's the benefit, and why do we need what you are both creating right now in these times?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. I feel in these times, people are getting sicker. And that's because our homes are not harmonious. Our homes are not designed with healthy materials. And when people walk into a space that we've designed, they just feel good. And after weeks or months, years sleeping inside of a space like this, preparing food inside of a space like this, meditating in a space like this, people are naturally going to be getting healthier day by day, because we spend 95% of our time indoors and we're disconnected from nature. Yeah. We're not grounded into the earth. We forgot to listen. But nature is so simple. Actually, what we're doing, it sounds like a complex structure, but it's very intuitive. Actually, if we just designed just following nature's patterns and rhythms, it's very easeful and natural and curvy. And a lot of people try and use sacred geometry, and it's very forced design. Actually, it's not so much about using a flower of life. It's actually about studying nature, watching how nature forms, and it's more about the proportions and the shapes and the curves.
Yeah.
So when you just walk in, it's just something you feel. So if we designed our hospitals in these ways, for example, people that are spending a week in hospital, instead of getting sicker, like what happens to most people, if we use biophilic design, you know, natural lighting and things like this, people can actually thrive. So we really see this as the future of wellness, the future of architecture, and what we need to survive. Really, it's so imperative.
And the benefits on that sense is like multidimensional, no? From a emotional part to a physical part to a biological. There are so much different studies we can share later on.
Bruce Lipton's fantastic. He talks about our environment a lot.
Yeah. So the all basic geometry combines and affects those different layers of effects. So from a mitochondrial regeneration to a feeling blissful, more creative in those space, there are quite a wide range of benefits. And
we've actually got a page on our website called Impact. Really recommend checking it out. There's lots of links through to other websites that share all the statistics. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we'll be sharing also under this video all of John and Jody's links for Inphinity Design. So everyone make sure that you scroll down and you click on each and every one of their links. They're gonna share some resources, and their website is beautiful too. Yeah. Do you have any projects to show us that we could take a look at? John, do you want to get that ready? In the background, any videos you could show something? And I also, just as you get that ready and started, or feel free, we'll go organically, you can share and we can continue having a conversation. Jody, you talk about the future is wellness, and as you know, I'm mentoring women architects and designers, and I'm mentoring them and helping them to start to bridge spirit with architecture. Now, it's not for everyone. It's for the ones who really hear the call to build the temples of the future, right? And what they bump up against a lot is this fear of being ostracized, being shunned from society, being ridiculed, mocked, not taken seriously by their clients if they talk about spirit, if they talk about energy, if they talk about the nature spirits like I do, the nature beings, right? If they are having conversations with the land. And so I support them through very deep healing work, shadow work, to overcome that. But what it's great to hear from you is like this wellness sector is the future. Now, there are a lot of people who use that name as a kind of sticker, but they're not really going deep to do the important spirit work to create these kinds of really transformational spaces. But everyone, I want you to hear this, that even if you're a developer, a land steward, this is the future, and Mother Earth will be supporting you to really cross the threshold. What would you have as advice about women architects and designers? I mean, men as well are listening to this. It's just that that's my niche. I'm predominantly mentoring women architects and designers, but men are also, and if you identify differently, this is also possible. But what advice do you have for them? The ones who are really like, I want to stay in the security of my job. I fear I'm going to lose clients, but I'm still really hearing this call to create in this way. Yeah, this new way.
I'd actually love to pull up this slide that we have here. I've got two about some statistics on wellness, the wellness boom, and why it's imperative to start innovating in this sector. And using the term wellness is actually a phenomenal way to reach people. And if you look at the statistic here, at the moment it's 651 billion, and it's going to soar just by next year to 1.3 trillion, and it's just growing at a 12% rate up until 2030. So really, really important to innovate in this sector. And I feel, again, here looking at this growth within wellness real estate, it's the fastest growing domain. So now's the opportunity to become market leaders in this sector, and people understand the term wellness. It's a really good bridge and stepping stone to get people to understand this. And basically the boom came after COVID. You know, people got stuck in their homes and they started to realize how important their environment was for them. I just wanted to show this image here. Also, just you mentioned to show a few images, but I'll first just finish answering your question.
Oh, it's like a dream. Yeah.
Maybe you can bring back the video for a second, then we can share this in a moment.
Yeah, let me pause this for a moment.
Yeah, but I feel with the people that are wanting to step into this space and speak the language that we use, I think it's like slowly educating people in using language like when we speak to someone that we think they're going to be able to receive, because I feel we have a mission and a duty to educate the world to start respecting the land. And a lot of people understand terminology like, what should we create in the area that the land will respect? Meaning like even just the people that live in the community, the neighborhood villages, you know, even just waste management and these types of things, we can talk about respecting the land and this level of education. And, you know, most people understand intuition. It's not such a woo-woo word. You know, everyone knows like gut feeling. So you can use the type of language like go to the land, walk around and imagine yourself there. What would be there? People will resonate with that type of language. Maybe the word spirit is something that needs some education, and we can kind of ask clients if they believe in spirit, and if they don't, we can say, well, do you believe in yourself? Because we all have a higher self and a higher guide.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. You know, I would say, you know, most people are connected to that, or they believe in some higher power within themselves. So I think this is a beautiful bridge.
I will also add one more quite important part on that, who doesn't feel comfortable of speaking about energy, about the spirit, about the land, is just make your own study. Learn the science of the energy. This is not like something woo anymore. There is
or like that it needs to stay hidden.
And once you understand this new quantum phenomena that is happening just in front of our eyes, yes, we cannot see that, but once you understand what is happening in the atomic structure, even beyond sub-quantum level, it is basically pure science we are talking. It's not about spirit anymore. The spirit that we are saying, actually, let me say in that way, metaphysics is the science we haven't discovered yet. It is just, that's why we call metaphysics, because we are not able to comprehend that yet, but there is a backed up science out there. So if you're uncomfortable speaking those things, go and make your homework done, and you will be able to find yourself comfortable speaking those terms, because that's just the science how we function in this reality.
Yeah. And just to add one more thing, generally speaking, a lot of people are afraid to speak about spirit or about energy or feelings like this. And usually when you just have the confidence to share, many other people are also really interested. We all have this little girl or little boy inside of us that believes in angels and fairies and pixies. And as soon as we connect on that level, most people are like, oh, that feels really nice.
Yeah. It's extremely liberating as well, especially for the people for those who really know that that is part of their path to bridge spiritual wisdom with architecture, with design, and to start speaking openly without fear about it. To what degree, you know, it's not like, for example, in the sacred blueprint process that I take my clients through, the property owners, you know, I'm not here to teach them esoteric wisdom, right? You know, that's not my job. My job is to listen to their souls, listen to the spirit of the land, help them to learn about the energetics of their property and how it's a mirror of them. It's a mirror, and that it's guiding them. It's a way shower, and teach them how to be more compassionate and loving to the earth, and that the earth, in fact, wants to co-create with them, right? And that it will support them, their higher selves, their souls, to receive a vision with ease and flow that actually works out for permitting process, zoning approvals, right? I mean, this has happened to me a lot where, a company would say something like, they could be like an architecture office, or, I've heard that it's happened with other people where it's kind of like, you add the harmonizing and the energetic and the spirit stuff at the end of the project, or maybe dabble in it a little bit at the beginning. But I guarantee when you're really in tune with the energetics of the land and respect it and acknowledge it, it paves the way for more smooth, easeful design and construction process. Yeah.
Totally. We're in that journey ourselves right now, actually. We're looking for land for our own personal project, and we're trying to stay in that kind of feeling, and our minds are like, oh, but this would make money and this could be great, right? And then trying to, but what wants to be created here? So we're currently exploring those dynamics ourselves. It's very different kind of guiding a client through it versus doing it yourself. So we're learning a lot of
I know, it's like you're kind of your own healer. It's strange. Yeah. But you have each other maybe to call out and support. Yeah.
Definitely. And we'll be leaning on you a lot throughout the process as well. So you'll definitely be one of our guides, as you're so embodied and doing such a great job in that. So.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to briefly touch on, currently we're creating a bit of a blueprint also for global wellness models. So we'll share a slide here of kind of what we're trying to create. And basically, we're wanting to create spaces all around the world. This is the download that's come in for us. And we share this because if there's anybody that's watching that's, wanting to co-create, we would love that. We're really dreaming of aligned partners, connecting with our soul family. So John and I have a set of skills, but we're always looking for architects, interior designers, feng shui experts that can walk with us. We have a really great marketing and branding and design direction, dropping in visions. And we need beings to support us to bring this, because we really see over the next few years, we're going to be doing a lot of our own development. So we just want to share a few slides to show, what we're doing.
And that's the basic whole beauty of this new paradigm. It's from I to we. We are transitioning right now. And in this transition, we need each other. We cannot do this alone. And we are right now calling all of the basically creative visionaries, whoever wants to bring this vision alive. Either you're an investor or you're a designer, it doesn't really matter. We have to come together. And that's our call to the whole world in this stage. Okay, we are starting to bring this download in. It looks like right now like this. It can tomorrow shape something else, but the seed in our hearts, and we are seeing this seed is in many of our beings' heart right now, is pulsing in the same way. So we are here to flourish that soil in the best way possible. Whoever you are, if you have this call, we are here for you with full arms open.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we just thought we'd just show a few quick slides.
Yeah, these are beautiful. Yeah.
Our approach, so the different methodologies that we're actually using. So we use sacred geometry and nature's geometry. We're also incorporating like modern technology. John's like a bit of a geek when it comes to finding the latest types of tools that we can incorporate in our environments. Temples, biophilic design, regenerative systems. It's something we didn't touch on a lot. We actually have a partner that specializes in regenerative systems that we utilize, because for us it's so imperative to be not just sustainable but regenerative. And then we also have this multi-sensory approach that we try to incorporate as much as possible, you know, to activate all of the senses, which also into the trauma healing side of things, that when we make spaces just feel really safe and comfortable. Natural materials and also culture. We love to study all of the cultures around the world and bring them into different projects. So
I mean, we would say like the folk souls or the spirits of each culture can also contribute to, they are also part of the spirit of the land, and can certainly influence, you know, the architecture. And we know that it influences the vernacular architecture of places. And what's that next level up, which I think you're bringing. It's very dreamy. I mean, it's very, there's like a fantasy land, and it's a remembrance. So when I see these images, you know, there's a remembrance of days of a place and space that we once were in all together.
You know how many people say that to us? Constantly in our work. They're like, I've been there before, or I just feel myself there. I remember it. And I don't know where we're getting this download from, but for some reason we're really grabbing a download that resonates with so many of us. And
perhaps we're remembering.
And it's so beautiful that the download came in water, which water is what helps us remember, you know. And I
mean, there's so many incredible things coming out about water these days. Was it Veda Austin? I think she's in New Zealand, who's now actually freezing water, and the water is freezing and showing images of her dreams. She just has a book out. So that's another thing. Absolutely add Veda Austin to your scientific research. She's a beautiful, I think, part Indigenous in New Zealand. And she's now touring, I think, the world with her new book. Beautiful work, really beautiful work. I hope I'm quoting her name correctly. And so much more about water. And, you know, with water too, I've been in my encounters and communions with various lands, sacred sites as well. I lead women to Ephesus, the ancient temple site of Artemis, as well as the ancient city there. In fact, in October, we're gathering an intimate group again, so I'm super excited about it. There's a theme with other projects I've been working on, that the primal waters want to be called back to the surface of the earth and co-created with. And it's highly likely that you were connecting with the primal waters in Mexico. Not to say that it's empty now, but not to say a glass of water also doesn't have that magic. Absolutely, absolutely. But there's something about that I'm, receiving as an intuition. And the visions for your architecture, I can see how they're going to even develop further, John, especially with free energy and technology that's out there, and that there's something about it being able to run water through it. And Ephesus is kind of like in its full glory when the water is being moved through it. There's something there. And they knew in the past, the priests and the priestesses and the high architects, they knew this technology. But I think what we're going to be transmitting and birthing together is next level. Right? We're not concerned necessarily about copying the past, but really doing something that embraces the awakening of humanity. And the future.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. Let's start building now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It seems like when you were mentioning all of those in the past, how they've been doing, like it seems like once a civilization merged with this information system, they have been creating some marvels, what we are seeing in so many places in the whole world. And it seems what you are mentioning right now is going to happen again, and we all feel that, and it's going to happen in a different way. This new civilization with this moment, all of this information we have with all of the wisdom, once we able to integrate this ancient wisdom, who knows what mesmerizing wonders will come up. And we are quite excited, and we know from our blood, we know from our dreams, like this will happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
The world is not going to be the same in next few years, and this is the time of this grand transition, and we all going to witness this crazy roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mm.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know-
education, wellness, I mean, all the aspects of society, they're completely transforming. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Richard Rudd, the guy from Gene Keys, actually, he talks about 2027, a whole new type of human coming through. So the children that we'll probably have, and a lot of our friends will probably have, are going to have very, very different needs. The type of education they'll need, the type of spaces that they'll need. They'll be demanding us to, live more in connection with nature. And I feel like a lot of us, especially women, we're probably feeling the energy of these children that are going to be coming through.
Yeah.
And I do, there's thousands of children, sometimes I feel communicating to me, telling me what to create. I feel like that's my greatest drive, is to create space for the future generations. I think
that's so beautiful. Like creating this beautiful seed to grow for them to steward, right? Yeah. And the next, yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. So as we close today's interview, share what is the greater vision for the new earth that you, both of you, and Infinity Design see for our future? What is the new earth? Yeah.
That's the wrong timing for the question in the ending. It can go to a completely different conversation now.
Another hour.
Yeah.
I opened up another gateway. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most simple way is just to keep listening. And we, as we mentioned, are in the process of designing a blueprint. We're already looking at lands globally, speaking to different partners and different architects to partner with in different areas of the world. So we feel if there's anyone out there that wants to collaborate, that has land, that wants to buy land, that wants to be a designer on the project, to reach out to us, as we are totally here. We know that bridge to 5D consciousness is through the 4D, which is coming together, reuniting with our soul family, putting those jigsaw puzzle pieces back together. And we know when we meet each other, we just instantly feel that recognition. So we are actually also expanding our team right now. So if there's anyone, we're mostly looking for like a really strong female architect is what's coming through, motherly type, fierce lioness type energy we're calling in, that might like to join our team. So if anyone's not really wanting to set up their own business in architecture, but's wanting to kind of work with like-minded beings, we'd love to hear from them. Anything else?
And basically in them to just what Jody was mentioning, in those places, what we feel like in this transition, the world needs like-minded people like you and like many of us who's listening this. We need to come together, and we need those lighthouses around the world. And we are hearing those visions from many, many, many of us. There is a big wave right now happening to create the lighthouses for people as a sanctuary for the new earth. These are sanctuaries to develop unlock the human potential, to develop the new human in those places, train in ascension academies. So these are basically our passions, to create these lighthouses around the world. And as we mentioned, it is time to come together and we cannot do this alone. We are hearing so many people trying by themselves. They are failing. This is not working. So
Yeah.
we need to come together.
I love
That's the
it.
whole
Yeah.
key of this, which, as Jody mentioned, to the 5 or whichever these that we are moving right now. We have to come together. This separation game is over now, and we have to unify right now.
Yeah.
I love it. And as you share the lighthouses, this image of the entire globe with these beacons of light, lighthouses, like acupuncture points all around the globe, and that not only are they tapping into the earth grids, right, the energy lines, but they are also creating a new energetic web of light that's actually supporting Mother Gaia as well to go through her birthing process. And what I also see too, as you share that, is that they become incredible resource centers, because there are a lot of darker energies on the planet that will also try to usurp or gaslight or block, right, or inhibit this powerful movement, right, to build the temples of the new earth. And so I used to think about like Library of Alexandria, right, like that there's there's data stored in these great beautiful libraries, as well as opportunities for social renewal, right, like jobs, new ways of working, communing with each other, regenerating the land. And these are concepts that are not necessarily new. The eco communities all around the world have been, some more successfully than others, implementing and integrating this. But what I love about the energy that you're bringing in is that there's a level of, that you're speaking to a wider audience, but also a higher level audience, in a sense that working with kind of developers, partners, investors, and bringing this to even a level of luxury that we all need, actually. And so I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you and what you're creating for the new earth.
We are excited for all of us.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings is luxury doesn't have to cost the earth.
It doesn't. It doesn't. The beautiful Tadalakt and Earth Plasters team that did the clay walls in our home, and Tadalakt, Moroccan Tadalakt, Asla Tekin and her team, she always talks about, this Tadalakt and the clay can also be used for luxurious spaces. But you don't necessarily have to have like an insane amount of money to implement natural materials. But I personally want to see things, at a higher level, and not just like a rundown shack. Now, shacks can be fun at certain times, but I just want, they're just coming out of the poverty consciousness in the way we create architecture, I think is really important. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Beauty. Such a great interview. Thanks again for joining the Sacred Blueprint Circle. And it was an absolute delight to interview you today. For all of you who have joined and are watching this video, make sure you scroll down to check out Inphinity Design's links, John and Jody's links below, if you want to get in touch with them. If you're a developer, a land steward, a fierce lioness woman architect who is like, oh, I want to work with them, reach out to them. And they have a great website with all kinds of information also about biophilic design, sacred geometry, and so much more. So check them out, and so great to have you again at the series.
Thank you.
It is always a pleasure to connect with you, Aisha. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we are sending all of our best, amazing wishes and all this. Also, thank you for creating this space for people, bringing all of these people together. Thank you so much for holding that flame and educating people on this very sensitive but very important subjects. So we are saluting you, we are celebrating you, and we are very deeply grateful for your presence too.
Yes,
Thank you.
and
I receive.
if anyone's thinking about going, it's October, isn't it, to FS? I've been twice. I haven't been along with Aisha, but if I had have had the opportunity, I would. I'm sure she takes such a beautiful journey. Even we just went twice alone, just exploring. It's one of the most fascinating ancient sites I've ever seen. So beautiful and so much to see. So really recommend it.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Yes. All of what she's saying is absolutely correct about Ephesus. And really, it's like you're going to experience time bending there. It's incredible what a powerful portal it is there. So yeah, thanks for shouting out and extending that invitation. Thank you so much. So everyone, make sure you watch all the rest of the interviews for this series. It's a total of 10 interviews this season to benefit from all the incredible wisdom and expertise of our energetic design experts. So see you on the next interview. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.